I would not now give you a few words about Article 209B, which is related to subsidiary foreign companies. This article aims at dissuade the companies liable to corporation tax to locate part of their profit in businesses or companies located in a state or territory where they are subjected to a privileged tax mode. Are under the provisions of Article 209B, the companies established in France which trade a permanent establishment or hold directly or indirectly more than 50% in an entity established out of France and subjected to a privileged tax mode. Article 209B shows off that profits or positive incomes carried out by an entity under a privileged tax mode are considered to constitute incomes of the company established in France. I'll give you some details concerning this measure. The concerned foreign structures are either a permanent establishment or branches traded by the French company, or legal entities in which the French company holds directly or indirectly a majority holding. About the privileged tax mode. A privileged tax mode is characterized by a difference of more than 50% between the tax discharged abroad and that whose company or entity would have been indebted in France under the conditions of common right. An anti-abuse clause has been introduced in order to prevent the situations where companies would be intended to hold together a structure established out of France, but while being placed under the threshold of 50%. The law provides that the threshold of detention is lowered to 5% when more than 50% of the shares are held either by companies established in France, either by companies directly or indirectly placed in a situation of control or dependence with regard to the company established in France. There are also two safeguard clauses in order to protect the companies. First, within the European Union, the measure is only applicable to the artificial schemes which have the dominant purpose to circumvent the French tax legislation. And out of the European Union, the measure of taxation does not apply when the profit or positive incomes of the company established or made up out of France come from an effective industrial or commercial activity carried out on the territory from its establishment or its office. I can illustrate this point with an example. If it works. It works. In this case, at the end of its tax year, a French bank holds 60% of a company based in the island of Bahamas. This subsidiary is in charge of the management of the North American customers of this bank. It has been judged that as regards the nature of the activity of the subsidiary, it could not carry out its operations predominantly on the local market. The concept of local market, within the meaning of Article 209B, does not include, especially for financial services, the customers likely to be managed from the territory of the subsidiary company without being present there. So the positive results of this subsidiary company are pursuant to the Article 209B, taken again to a total value of 60% in the results of the French company. I specify that these incomes don't concern the category of profit defined neither in Article 7 of Model Convention OECD, nor the Article 10, dividends, but of the article other incomes. Article 238A makes possible to dispute the deduction of expenditure paid to suppliers located in a low-tax country. This article targets the company who transfer their profits abroad, making payments to entities established in tax shelters where they are not or less taxed. Such a process is not necessarily reprehensible because payments can have a real consideration. But as they are financial operations bound for tax shelters, the tax authorities take care about it, fearing an artificial distinction of the cost or payments of amounts which do not correspond to any good and valuable consideration. In such cases, Article 238A enables to admit the deductibility of the expenses only if the company can prove at the same time that the expenditure corresponds to real operations and that they do not present an abnormal or exaggerated character. It is then a rather severe position since the burden of proof falls to the taxpayer. This is why this procedure is subjected to strict conditions. It targets only few operations, financial expenses, patent expenses, payments for services, the transfer operated by the mean of under or other invoicing are nevertheless out of the field of this law. Here is an example of application of this law. If it works, it works. A company established in France, specialized in cleaning polluted sites, paid commissions to a company established in Jersey. You know, Jersey Island is an island which is considered as a tax shelter. These commissions were proportional to the turnover carried out on certain markets of asbestos removal for the use of a patent which would be the property of the company of Jersey. We asked the French company to show the materiality and the normal character of the operations. The French company only produced an agreement between the two companies and was unable to provide the official titles delivered to protect the patent. Therefore, in that case, the double proof was not provided by the company. So we proceeded to the reassessment of the tax corresponding to this expenditure under the terms of Article 238A. So, as you can see, this law institutes a kind of presumption of fictivity for any operation made with a supplier located in a tax haven. Another article concerns the charges paid to foreign companies in consideration of services carried out in France. This is the Article 155A.